Hello, Mr. Menez. This is Myles Thomas giving my capstone immigration story through video and some interactive pictures. I will be following the story of my father's side, starting with my great grandfather, Joseph Batros. He was from Bazoun, Lebanon, a small mountain village, and he lived with his two sisters and his father and mother. So this is his father and mother. This is my great grandfather, and this is his one of his two sisters in Bazoun, Lebanon. And at the this is the house that they lived in Bazoun. Just a simple home in a small mountain village. And at the age of 18, my great-grandfather, Joseph Batros, and his wife, Mary Batros, pregnant wife, saved up money and took a ship to the United States. During their travels to the United States, my great-grandmother, Mary, gave birth to their first child, Florence, and they arrived to Ellis Island in 1906. When they first arrived there, my great-grandfather, Joseph Batros, took up the last name Thomas, which was a common first name in the United States, and it was a practice that was done by many Lebanese immigrants at the time to take up a American first name as your last name just to fit in. So that is where I get my last name, Thomas, and that's why it's a first name. And my great-grandfather did not speak English when he first came here, so he worked hard labor. He worked at a fruit stand in New York to support his wife Mary and his first daughter Florence. And while working and saving money, he met someone who told him about Butte, Montana, and how it was a booming mining industry there, and there was a lot of opportunity, and there was actually a lot of Lebanese immigrants who were in the area. So with common people and opportunity there, my great-grandfather moved his family to Butte, Montana by train. And when he first started working there, he was a peddler. So he would go around with a case of dry goods with cloth, supplies, mining things, and would go door to door, talk with pedestrians, and just sell around the town. And he built this business, and as he was working, his wife and him were busy having a family. So here is 7 of the 8 children they had. This is Florence, who was born on the way to the United States. Their second oldest, Tony. Then it goes Annie, Francis, George, Rita, and this was, Michelle. This one right there. And the only person that is missing from this picture, the only child, is my grandfather, who was not yet born. This is a picture of my grandfather with his siblings. This is my grandfather, Eli. His older brother, George. This is Annie, and this is Rita. And 3 of the children ended up passing away while living in Butte. Francis, there was a mine cart that ended up hitting him, like an ore cart, and killed him. And there was also a house fire that killed 2 or 3 of the daughters there. And so while my great-grandfather was working in Butte, he graduated to a horse and cart to increase his business size and inventory, and eventually actually started a store called Thomas's Dry Goods on 300 East Mercury Street. And this is a picture, like a flyer of just some discounts that he would be selling or offering his customers at his store. So that's a flyer from there. And this is the house that they lived in Butte, Montana. So my great grandfather ended up giving his business to my grandfather, who was his youngest son. And my grandfather ran it for 7 years and ended up giving it to his cousin in 1964. And he moved his family, my grandma, Dorothy, who he also lived in Butte, Montana, and his 3 children, Jim, Chris, and Greg, moved them to California in 1964 to Saratoga. And that is where my dad was born, and that is where my grandparents have lived ever since. And during my great-grandfather's immigration here, there was no laws against people from the Middle East traveling to the States. So Ellis Island, he changed his name there, and other than that, had no issues. There was some issues with his religious background, as he was a Catholic, and at the time the United States was very Protestant, and Catholic immigrants were kind of iffy, and many people didn't like them having a say about religion and the state of the United States. But other than that, through hard work and determination, my great-grandfather was able to come here and successfully build a life for his future ancestors. Thank you.